Okay, please put your phones on vibrate. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. What a great day. It is wonderful that you're here. We have obviously attracted a great group of people, so excited for today's announcement. It's a very special day today. So we've gathered to celebrate, we've gathered to sign, and we have gathered to immediately begin implementing the Tenants' Bill of Rights. That's an applause line. All right. It's no secret to anyone here or to anyone in this community that we have an affordability crisis. Today, we're gathered to send a clear message to our community that county government is working towards housing solutions for all our residents. I want to start out by giving very special thanks to our Board of County Commissioners who are well represented this afternoon. I think we have a quorum, and with very good reason.
We do.
On Tuesday, May 3rd, our Board of County Commissioners voted unanimously to pass the Tenants' Bill of Rights. That's very good. And especially I want to thank the co-prime sponsors of this legislation, Commissioner Jean Monestime, Commissioner Raquel Regalado, who are both with us today. They sponsored, they championed, they worked hard, and we celebrate them. And with all the commissioners who support solving our affordability crisis and who are joining us today, our chair, our vice chair, Commissioner McGee, Commissioner Heyman, Cohen-Higgins, and Higgins. So yes, we have a quorum. There is a quorum. Okay. So together with our county commissioners and the Building Blocks program of my administration, we are working together tirelessly to ensure that housing is more affordable, that it's available, that it's accessible to all of those who call Miami-Dade County home. We all know this is a great place. Truly, Miami-Dade County is a very, very special place. We're a community filled with immigrants and transplants who've come here for a better life, and people who have flocked from all over the world to be here, as well as people who've built this community one block at a time for generations. So over the past year, with all of our success, we've also become the most unaffordable place to live in the country.
It's a jam.
That's the mayor's phone, though.
No.
That's all we're for the final.
We know that the housing crisis, the affordability crisis, is stifling opportunities and hurting our working families. So as we continue to grow, as we continue to recover, to attract high-quality talent, all of which we want, we must also address these housing challenges so that our residents can continue to live, work, and thrive in our county. And so it is with great pleasure that my colleagues and I are gathered today for the bill signing of the Tenants' Bill of Rights. It's another concrete step that we're taking to help families stay in their homes and giving them time, if they need, to find other options, an additional buffer to protect vulnerable residents and help those on the hunt for alternative housing. We just also passed, this commission did, 60-day notice, providing opportunities for those who faced eviction or increases in rent that they couldn't afford, to give them more opportunity to recover and seek options. So this Bill of Rights is yet another concrete step that will help our families stay in their homes, give them time, and we are addressing renters' rights specifically and adding some important rights. So if you are living in a substandard unit, if you need to make necessary repairs, this will guarantee that you will have the ability to make those repairs, document them, and reduce your rent accordingly. The Bill of Rights also serves to formalize the new Office of Housing Advocacy, which was approved in this year's budget and is now fully staffed and operational. We passed it in September, but today it is open with 3 wonderful people, and you'll hear shortly from our new office director, Dolores Holly. We also are joined by Sabrina Villard and Shavini Braham. our housing and tenant advocates. They are part of this office. You can also learn more about your rights in this office at our website, miamidade.gov/housing advocacy, and our housing advocacy hotline, which we just called and is fully operational. 786-469-4545, 786-469-4545. And you can also email the office at housingadvocacy@miamidade.gov. So with the launch of this office, with the Tenants' Bill of Rights that will go into full effect this Saturday, May 14th, I am confident that we are moving one step closer towards housing affordability for all of our residents. And I also want to thank our fierce community advocates, without which this would not have come to pass, especially the Miami Workers Center, who truly championed the bill from the start, and other advocacy groups as well, and Legal Services of Greater Miami, my former employer, also with us today, and to each and every resident who continues to lift his or her voice on this critical issue. We hear you. We hear you. We are working to find solutions for you, and we are with you together. And before I invite the chairman to make a few remarks, and all of the commissioners and other representatives, I'll just say a few brief remarks in Spanish. Hoy nos reunimos para celebrar, firmar e implementar la Declaración de Derechos del Inquilino. Quiero agradecer a nuestros comisionados por aprobar esta ley y por enviar un mensaje claro a nuestra comunidad, que el gobierno de Miami-Dade está trabajando para proteger la vivienda de nuestros residentes. A través de nuestro programa Building Blocks, mi administración está trabajando fuerte para garantizar que la vivienda sea más asequible, disponible y accesible para todos los que consideramos que Miami-Dade es nuestro hogar. Esta Declaración de Derechos, que entrará en vigencia este sábado, el 14 de mayo, es otro bloque de nuestro programa Building Blocks, que ayudará a las familias a permanecer en sus hogares o les dará más tiempo para encontrar otras opciones. La declaración también formalizó la necesidad de crear una oficina para la defensa de la vivienda, y hoy estoy muy orgullosa de poder anunciar que la oficina está oficialmente abierta. Desde hoy, inquilinos y dueños de propiedades que necesitan ayuda o tienen preguntas pueden comunicarse con la Oficina de Defensa de la Vivienda, página web miamidade.gov, /Housing Advocacy, línea directa 786-469-4545, correo electrónico housingadvocacy@miamidade.gov. Okay, arroga. Okay, all together now.
Arroba.
No es que roba, arroba.
Sí.
Robo y arroba, diferente.
Housing Advocacy, @miamidade.gov. Okay. Gracias a todos por estar aquí, a los comisionados que lideraron esta ley y a las organizaciones de la comunidad que trabajaron para que se aprobara. Hoy es un buen día. Gracias a todos, y ahora el jefe de la comisión, the chair of our commission, please, Pepe Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And this is something I know you've been working on for a long time.
Yes, sir, most
So-
of my professional career.
Exactly. So congratulations to you. So I want to say congratulations also to two individuals that took this very seriously and worked very hard to try to find balance. And that is Commissioner Monestein. Thank you for your leadership on this, and Commissioner Raquel Regalado. Yes. This was not easy because the idea of this is to try to find a fair balance between those that rent and those that are property owners. So it hasn't been easy, but we accomplished it. The whole goal was to make sure that those that rent are treated fairly and are treated decently and have the right to say, I need this fixed in my place, and I don't need to get kicked out because I'm asking to just do simple things to fix my roof, or the water in my place is leaking in, or the air conditioning is not working. And those are simple things that we think of, but unfortunately, people they take abuse of people for doing things like that. So this declaration hopefully will deal with it, and the new office that the mayor put through, and the people that work together will find a solution to this. Is something that will go away within our community, and everybody will be respected. And I look forward also to the declaration of those that are property owners, that also to be protected, also in a fair, proper way, because that's the balance we have to have in Dade County. But I also have to thank the rest of my colleagues, because without them, this would not be here today. So thank you all for your leadership, too. Yeah, thank you. En español, esta declaración de derechos de las personas que rentan es súper importante en nuestra comunidad, porque es algo que, para que no abusen de esas personas que verdaderamente están tratando de hacer su pago y llegan y verdaderamente abusan de ellos, no le arreglan la propiedad como es debido, no hacen las cosas como deben hacerle, y esas personas no tienen los recursos necesarios para ponerlo en la corte y hacer las cosas por la ley que tenemos. Pero con esta resolución que se llevó a cabo, esto es algo que va a ayudar a esas personas a poder defenderse y poder establecer que en una forma más rápida, si Dios quiere, y sin el costo que llevan la corte, para hacer las cosas para que ellos le puedan ayudar en cosas como que el techo está liqueando agua, o el servicio no trabaja, o el aire acondicionado no trabaja. Tienen que arreglarle esas cosas. Eso es humano para que esas personas puedan vivir, porque están pagando su renta. So, estamos buscando un promedio en el medio. Yo sé que Raquel lo va a decir un poquito mejor, pero vamos a buscar un promedio que sea justo para los que rentan y para los propietarios que le rentan a ellos. So, eso es algo que no es fácil, es bastante difícil, pero yo creo que con el empezar y esta resolución, como se dijo, que se va a ajustar si hay necesidad, esta declaración de derechos, como dijo la alcaldesa, y tengo que darle las gracias a ella también, porque ella en todo momento lleva mucho tiempo de hacer, como dijo ella, su carrera profesional en tratando de hacer una cosa así parecida. So, gracias a mi colega, especialmente a mis dos colegas principales, el comisionado Manastín, que fue el que trajo esto, el liderazgo de él, y también la comisionada Raquel Regalado. Tiré la R bien ahí, ¿viste? Regalado. Y también mi colega, que me quiere quitar el micrófono.
Just before we hear from the Vice Chair, I want to also acknowledge that we have the presence of Ron Book, the longtime chair of our Homeless Trust, and doing a fantastic job making sure that the people who need help at the end get the help, and advocating for more housing always. Thank you so very much. And so our Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I won't be long because I really want you all to hear from the sponsors, the co-prime sponsors, Commissioner Monestein and Commissioner Regalado. Thank you all for this. Look, we're going to have, when we've heard a lot of big words and fancy words, what this really is us finding a way to codify law that brings about, make it a little fairer for people. And these are our neighbors. These are people who we work with and who we catch public transit with and who we socialize with. These are our neighbors, and finding a way to make it fairer for them. That's not often the case. Government doesn't actually often have the ability to just make it fairer for people. This made it fair for people. You know, a tenant's bill of rights makes it fair. It tries to level the playing ground. It hopefully will keep people in their homes, but it will hopefully stop people from being taken advantage of. That's something worth applauding. Commissioner Monestein, Commissioner Regalado, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to Mayor Levin Cava for inviting me to the first ever signing of the Florida's tenant bill of. Yes, let me rephrase that. To witness the signing of Florida's first ever tenant bill of rights. That deserves a round of applause. Well, I was proud to sponsor this legislation alongside my colleague, Commissioner Regalado. Let me tell you what, when a group of advocates led by the Miami Workers Center reached out to me and asked me to sponsor this item, I remember one thing. We don't have a partisan commission. And I realized that this is a big task to lead, and I didn't want to lead this on my own. That's why I reached out to Commissioner Regalado, because I wanted people to feel that we're all in this together. And how did I know that we should do this together? I'm a real estate professional. I run a real estate practice for the last 30 years. In the last 5 to 6 years, I've been in the business of rejecting clients. I've been telling them, no, I cannot sell your property, because if you think you're going to have enough money after selling this to buy another one, you're not. Therefore, stick to where you are. Don't sell, because you're not going to be able to purchase something else because price has gone up so fast. Basically, I've been putting myself out of business. I've been telling tenants, oh, they just increased your rent by $200, $300. Sorry, you cannot look for anything else, because this is still the best you got. That's how serious that it is out there, with single parents, with people that are ill, with people that are not healthy, trying to maneuver, holding to their units, whether because they are a renter or they are owner. It's a difficult task. And, well, let me tell you what, that effort had produced great results, because this is why we're here today. A huge thank you to my colleague, my co-prime sponsor, Commissioner Regalado, for working diligently with me to make sure that we listen to all segments of the industry, to make sure that we cross all the T's and dotted all the I's. A big thank you for my colleague. At first, I thought we were going to come there scrambling for 7 votes. And as Commissioner Martinez once said, we thought transportation was the #1 crisis, but we realized the last few years that housing is the #1 crisis in this community. So a huge thank you to the mayor for being supportive, to Commissioner Regalado for working diligently with me on this, to all the people in the industry and the advocates, all the partners that have worked with us, especially the Miami Workers Center and Central Dennis. Give her a big round of applause. Okay? A huge thank you to my colleagues, to all my other 11 colleagues beside Commissioner Regalado, because we know this was not an easy topic to discuss, but at the end of the day, it proved this commission knows how to lead, when to lead, and how to do it. And for that, I bow before my colleagues on the County Commission for approving this unanimously. Thank you so very much. And jeudi an son gros jour pour toute Miami-Dade County, parce que droit locataire yo que nous approuvé jeudi an, et bureau ça que magistrat va approuver pour bail droit à locataire yo, sont un gros bénéfice que le pralier pour tout le monde qui a cherché un côté pour y arrêter. Nous battons bravo pour collègue moi et commissioner Galado qui était sponsorisé et il suit ça avec moi pour nous porter dossier ça devant County Commission nan. Et nous dit et magistrat merci parce que les ouvrir un bureau qui pour bailler assistance à tout le monde qui besoin assistance parce que besoin côté priorité. Et nous battions gros bravo tout pour Miami Workers Center avec Central Dennis and all the other advocates qui portaient dossier ça devant nous pour aider nous comprendre nécessité pour nous bailler locataires dans Miami-Dade County droit que yo besoin pour que yo ka défendre tête yo, défendre famille yo, leur besoin côté priorité. Pour ça m'a remercier tout collègue moi tout qui était approuvé dossier ça à l'unanimité avec nous et pour ça me dit merci, merci en pile. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias a todos.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank Commissioner Monestein for his patience. He has the patience of Job. When this county commission went from 2 attorneys to 6 attorneys, I know that a lot of people were concerned, and Monestein was at the top of that list. He reminds us all the time that not everyone on this commission is an attorney. But for me, I was really honored to work with him. And I remember the first Sunshine meeting we had, we weren't sure. Well, first of all, I mean, again, the man was very patient, but we weren't sure we could get 5 more votes. We really were concerned about how we were going to do this work. We had met with the Miami Workers Center, and you know, a lot of the folks that are here have done a tremendous amount of work on this. But we really did have a comprehensive look at the law. I brought in the Florida Bar. They created a subcommittee to do this work. You know, we talk about how this is the first one in the state of Florida. We wanted to make sure that we weren't calling out preemption. Other counties had done it unsuccessfully, and we did not want to repeat what other counties had done. So it was a lot of meetings, a lot of drafts, a lot of patience on the part of everyone involved so that we can strike that balance that our chair was talking about. And like the chair mentioned, we're working on a landlord one birthed from a lot of the issues that we had during the pandemic. But I think it's important to note that Commissioner Modestine started working on this before I was elected and before the pandemic. We just learned a lot during the pandemic. And what the pandemic did was create the sense of urgency, you know. And one of the things that I mentioned early on, and he mentioned, this is a bipartisan effort. This does not have any sort of partisan bend. And one of the reasons that I was so happy to spend so much time on this is, unfortunately, the people most impacted by this are single women, you know, and that's a reality in our county. I've been divorced for 14 years. I've been a single mom for 14 years. I'm lucky enough to be a homeowner and to be an attorney. But the reality is that most people in Miami-Dade County do not have access to legal services. And at the Florida Bar, we deal with this all the time. So this idea of compilating existing law, putting in the forms, translating those forms into Spanish and Creole, giving people accessibility through a website, you know, was really so important because they had those rights. They just don't know that they have those rights. And the conversations that are going to come once this Bill of Rights is given by a landlord to a tenant, you know, the protection that is going to provide, the knowledge, not on just the tenant side, but on the landlord side too. And we talked about this on several Zoom meetings on this topic. You know, a lot of landlords don't know tenants' rights. And that's why it's so important that this is going to change the dynamic for our residents in Miami-Dade County. I couldn't be prouder of the work that we've done. I thank my colleagues for their unanimous support of this. I think it really speaks to how a board can work together and how, while the rest of the world is very partisan, this board is not. And again, Commissioner Modestine, the patience of Job. A prince of a man, a prince of a man. Bien rápido en español, porque si no, ¿no? Yo quiero darle las gracias al comisionado Modestine por dejarme ayudarlo con esta propuesta. Nosotros tuvimos la oportunidad de trabajar no solamente con estos grupos que están representados aquí, pero también con el Florida Bar. Crearon un subcomité porque otros condados habían tratado de hacer este trabajo y lamentablemente no lo hicieron bien. Entonces nosotros nos queríamos asegurar que lo hacíamos correctamente, que no íbamos a tener un problema con nuestros legisladores a nivel estatal ni federal, y por eso estamos muy orgullosos del apoyo unánime que hemos tenido. Esto es importante porque las personas ahora saben las leyes en el estado de la Florida, creamos otras protecciones y esta información va a estar en español, en Creole, va a tener un sitio de web, van a tener un número donde pueden llamar y tener acceso, porque lamentablemente la mayoría de los inquilinos en el condado de Miami-Dade no tienen acceso a un abogado. Entonces, decirle a la persona que tienen un derecho sin darle la oportunidad de cómo ejercer ese derecho no es un derecho, ¿no? Y por eso yo creo que este es un paso muy importante a nivel del condado y el estado de la Florida, y esperamos que los otros condados sigan este ejemplo. Muchas gracias.
I told you her Spanish was better. I told you she had better Spanish.
Well, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I just really, to Commissioner Regalado, Commissioner Modestine, thank you so much for taking the lead on what is now a series of initiatives we have unanimously passed to make sure that our residents know that they live in a county that cares about them, and that as rents are rising, we are here to stick up for you, stand up for you, and make sure that you know that you can call us if you have questions. And so I'm very proud, Madam Mayor, that you've set up this new office, and I thank all my colleagues for their support to this. So please, if you're a resident and you have questions, call the county. We have so many programs that you need to know about because you have rights.
Good afternoon, everyone. I do want to start by sending my well wishes and my prayers to our colleague, Commissioner Sosa, who unfortunately has tested positive for COVID. And I, of course, want to start by thanking our Madam Mayor. As she said, she worked on this almost the entirety of her career. And I know that this is a truly momentous day for her. Again, I want to thank the co-prime sponsors for carrying this through and for being open-minded to the suggestions that the board gave in order to carry this across the finish line. All of my colleagues, I thank. And finally, and most importantly, I want to thank the residents of Miami-Dade County. I want to thank the advocates that are standing behind us. You all are, in fact, the leaders of this effort. This would not have been done absent your hard work and your energy and your effort. This is an example of government working for the people, which sometimes can truly be frustrating. But this is an example of Miami-Dade County setting ourselves apart, being different, being truly bipartisan, as Commissioner Regalado said, and really bringing in an important and a significant piece of legislation in for a landing that hopefully other counties throughout the state of Florida will mimic and will replicate. Thank you again so much, everyone. Exciting day.
Thank you.
Exciting.
Thank you. Commissioner McGee?
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you to the sponsors, Regalado and Monestein, and to my colleagues, and to the Miami Workers Center. You know, in 1791, this great nation ratified the first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. And some 231 years later, we're talking about that term, Bill of Rights. And why is this so important? Because the leadership of the mayor and the leadership of our two co-sponsors of this bill gives breadth to that phrase that has dominated our Constitution since its inception. And that phrase is, we the people. And what we've witnessed because of the advocacy of so many Miamians, so many people who are looking for the affordability crisis to end soon, they have given a new meaning, a clear meaning, a direct meaning to what it truly means when we say we the people. Because we the people are not separated from one another because of our governmental titles and/or our community activist title or because of our business title. When we say we the people, we have come to realize quite quickly and sooner than later that we the people includes all of us. And so when our great leaders in our communities bring these issues to us and tell us that they are sick and tired of being priced out of affordable housing, workforce housing, essentially what they are saying is that we need this to be a basic human right, that discriminatory practices should not and cannot stand in the face of a unified people that has a government that will listen. And this is why I take my hat off to our Madam Mayor, who has dedicated her entire professional career to ensuring that moments such as this happen. And then to Commissioner Monestein, Commissioner Regalado, to the Miami Workers Center. This is that moment in time where you're going to be able to tell your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and those who will read the history books that you are here some 231 years later to witness the signing of a new Tenant Bill of Rights for the great people of Miami. Thank you very much.
All right. Commissioner Hayman, would you go out? Commissioner Hayman, would you like to say a word? No. And Commissioner Hardiman? Thank you. They all voted for this bill.
Hello, everyone. I am Keon Hardiman, Miami-Dade County Commissioner. The only message that I want everyone to walk away with today, for those of you who are watching this on television, we know that we have now new assistance to help those who are in our community that need rental assistance, that need the law on their side and people on their side, Miami-Dade County on their side, in order for them to live in our community harmoniously without the fear of being put out on the street. But I'll tell you, this isn't the entire answer. We need all of you who are members of our community that are looking for better places to live, that are renting in our community, to take advantage of all the resources that Miami-Dade County has to offer you. So the goal should always be to move into a home that you can purchase. And so let's not say today is the victory that you'll have in the future that's most important to you. I think all of us should see ourselves living in a home that we own. All of us should see ourselves looking in a place where we're paying a mortgage instead of rent. And the better that you're able to accomplish that, the more likely you'll be able to be a resident and continue to live here without the stresses that many of us face in Miami-Dade County. And so there are home ownership programs. You have MDEED. If you're in municipalities, the city of Miami, other places have resources available to turn renters into homeowners, to provide subsidies for you when you're purchasing a house. Some subsidies go as much as $150,000. I mean, that's a whopping sum to take off of a mortgage, and it's available to you. What it takes is for you to enroll yourselves into these programs, to remain diligent about the opportunities that are there for you, to focus and be determined that this is what you're going to accomplish. And if you're able to do that, you can become a homeowner here in Miami-Dade County. So thank you so very much for the opportunity to speak with you all, and hopefully many of you come back to our community, not as renters, but as homeowners in Miami-Dade County. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. So that's actually a very good segue to introducing our new director of the Office of Housing Advocacy, Dolores Holly. She's going to give you a little overview, and one of the important parts of this office is to provide resource information to the public about all of the home ownership, rental assistance programs, and new housing that's coming online. So I'm very, very pleased to introduce to you Ms. Dolores Holly, and she's joined by her two other colleagues in the office. Thank you, Dolores.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Sabrina and Shavani. Right here. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I am so happy and honored to launch the Office of Housing Advocacy, which is a much-needed resource in our community. Our office will be working to address issues of affordable housing and landlord and tenant rights, in addition to assisting families and individuals seeking housing-related resources. Oftentimes, when residents are experiencing housing instability, like the affordability crisis we are in right now, it is difficult sometimes for them to navigate available resources. We will act as a clearinghouse and a coordinator to ensure that residents have the right tools in hand. Our office also understands that housing solutions require a collaborative effort. This is why we intend to work with developers, community affordable housing organizations, other stakeholders, county departments, to develop policy that is aimed at increasing the supply of housing and preventing the displacement of residents throughout Miami-Dade County. I would like to introduce you to my dynamic team, and this is Sabrina Varlardi. She's our housing development advocate, and this is, Shavani, tenant advocate. So we welcome the calls, and like Madam Mayor said earlier, our number is 786-469-4545. And you can also email us at housing advocacy at miamidade.gov. We welcome your calls. We've already been getting calls, and we're here to help you. So please call us. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. Great. And this office is going to be housed within our Community Action and Human Services Department. And it's one of the new initiatives in my administration as well. We're very proud. And it's part of our no wrong door approach to delivering community services under the direction of our Chief, Morris Copeland. Thank you very much. And many others who worked, Michael Liu and Public Housing and Community Development, George Damien de la Paz, one of our architects of the plan, so we're very grateful. And now I would like to invite to the microphone Ms. Keisha from the Miami Workers Center to bring it home. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Keisha Guyton from the Miami Workers Center. I'm just one of the organizers that went out for almost a year, knocking on doors and talking to the real experts. And the real experts are the tenants, the one that's going through it. I'd like to also thank Monestein and Regalado and all the rest of the commissioners who stood beside us. You know, it was a fight to get here, but we're here, and let it not be understood that there's more things that needs to be done in order for us to address these issues. Affordable housing is a main problem that we have because many people are losing their homes. Also, many children are being homeless. So I really think that this is a great step at the right direction, and I just want to thank everyone for collaborating, and I hope that we'll meet again to collaborate on some more things.
That's right.
Thank you.
We're also joined by Miami Homes for All, Annie Lord. Thank you so much for your leadership, Annie. And Legal Services of Greater Miami, Jeffrey Hearn, who is the lead on housing advocacy as well. Huh? Did I miss? Any other organizations represented here that we should mention? All right. Any questions, please? Yes, sir.
How is this going to help relieve stress and the inability to afford housing right now?
Yes, it's a very stressful time. We know that the housing prices have gone through the roof, and for many, they don't know what is the answer. So there are some answers available. We do have rental assistance. The Emergency Rental Assistance Program is available to prevent eviction and to help with large increases in rent. There's also help through the Tenants' Bill of Rights, specifically to take care of deficiencies in the housing, to make the repairs, to make sure that the landlord pays for those repairs. There's notice requirements of at least 60 days for any adverse actions, and there's more affordable housing being developed rapidly through our program. So there's new rights, there's new programs, and we're working as hard as we can to make sure that everybody can safely and affordably stay here in their homes.
Sure.
Okay.
El 3 de mayo, cuando se estaba analizando la propuesta, había un poco de confusión. Muchas personas estaban protestando afuera de la comisión porque lo que querían o lo que ellos esperaban escuchar era que iba a haber algún tipo de ayuda para detener el costo de las rentas que siguiera subiendo. Esto no ayuda con eso. ¿Podemos aclarar esa parte?
Primero voy a decir que sí tenemos ayuda para pagar las rentas si sube como hasta 20%. Eso es una parte del programa ERAP. Pero el dueño tiene que aceptar los fondos, que es también tal vez un problema. Pero fuera de eso tenemos otra legislación y voy a pedir que la comisionada comenta.
Bueno, mira, una de las cosas que es importante que las personas entiendan de esto es que muchos de los derechos que están aquí lo tomamos de las cosas que han estado ocurriendo en el condado de Miami-Dade. Por ejemplo, la notificación que cuando se venda una propiedad le tengan que notificar a los inquilinos viene del edificio en Hialeah, que le subieron tanto y que las personas no sabían que había ocurrido esa transacción. El derecho que las personas tengan que recibir las inspecciones cuando un edificio no es seguro, eso viene de lo que ocurrió con el edificio de Crestview, donde habían docenas de inquilinos que no sabían que el edificio tenía problemas estructurales. Ellos estaban pagando su renta y vinieron de un día al otro a evacuar ese edificio, y el condado de Miami-Dade con el Homeless Trust tuvo que pagarle para que esas personas vivieran en otro lugar. Entonces, dentro de esto hay muchos derechos que sí activamente ayudan a los inquilinos. Como mencionó la alcaldesa, uno de estos es que las personas, si viven en un apartamento y tienen problemas pero no se quieren ir porque no pueden encontrar algo más barato, ¿no? Ahora tienen las herramientas para poder lidiar con el propietario y ellos arreglarlo y deducir eso de la renta. Eso ya existía en la ley, pero aquí van a tener paso por paso sobre cómo hacer eso, y también la notificación para darle más tiempo para que no los puedan echar de un día al otro, ¿no? Cuando les suben las rentas. Entonces, esto es un primer paso. El limitar el incremento de las rentas es algo mucho mucho más complicado a nivel del Estado, ¿no? Y ese es el problema que nosotros tenemos. Como condado, nosotros no tenemos la potestad para hacer eso a largo plazo, y si se hace a corto plazo, tiene que ir a la votación y toma muchos pasos, ¿no? Y una de las preocupaciones que hablamos sobre eso en el pasado es que lamentablemente en otros lugares donde se ha tomado ese proceso, las personas se aprovechan de ese proceso para subir las rentas porque saben que viene un tope. Entonces se cae de la mata que a veces hay consecuencias no esperadas, ¿no? De esas políticas y esas pólizas. Entonces, esto es un primer paso, y lo más importante es que las personas ahora van a recibir todos estos derechos en blanco y negro, en español, en criollo, y van a tener la oportunidad de tener esta conversación con sus inquilinos, y eso va a cambiar la dinámica que hay entre los propietarios y los inquilinos. Sure. Sure. Right. So several things there. So number one, like I mentioned in Spanish, a lot of the work that was done here was based on actual examples that happened in Miami-Dade County. It wasn't like theoretic. So for example, the right that now if you're living in a building and there's an inspection that there was failed, you have to be told of that. We had the building in Crestview where a lot of tenants were paying rent and they had no idea that the building had structural issues. We had the issue in Hialeah where they sold the building and they had no idea that the building had been sold. So now we have those new protections here, which are outside the scope of what existed in Florida law. In terms of capping the rent, it's a very complicated process at the state level. It can be done by a county, but only for a temporary amount of time. We do have the ERAP program for people that are of low income. If their rent went up to 20%, they can apply through that programming. And if they got assistance through COVID, this is a different, even though it's the same program, it doesn't prohibit them from requesting that funding. But there are a lot of people who they want to stay in an apartment, but there's issues with the apartment. And one of the things that this does is provide them the tools so that they can navigate that and deduct that from their rent. It is not a silver bullet in any way, shape, or form, but I think it is a necessary first step in terms of helping people navigate the tenant-landlord system.
Very good. Doug?
Hi, could we hear from Ms. Kelly, the director of the Advocacy office?
Ms. Holly?
Holly.
It's
Come on
okay,
down.
you'll get to know her.
Yes, thank you.
Holley, Holley.
So my question is, who should call the renter helpline?
So, what type of tenants, landlords? Okay, so tenants can call the hotline if they are experiencing issues with their landlords. For example, like the commissioner said and the mayor said, if a tenant's rent is being increased, but they haven't been given fair notice, and their rent increase is gonna be effective the same month, then the tenant bill of right has some protections in there to cover them for that. The calls that we've been getting lately, for example, a young lady was paying her rent, but she was asked to move because there was problems with the unit. But she didn't know, problems with the building, but she didn't know that the building had issues, right? So, but she's been paying her rent. So now she's displaced. She's living in a extended stay. She was evicted because she didn't deposit the money. So she called for assistance. So what we have been doing is working with her to find a new place, to secure a new place, and also we referred her to ERAP. We referred her to ERAP to get assistance on first, last, and security, whatever they can help her with. We also contacted the city building department to see has that landlord been issued code violations because she had issues where she had mold, she had a water leak in her unit, but she was still being asked to pay rent. So those are the type of calls that we should be getting. We also should be getting calls from landlords who need to provide the tenant bill of rights or notices to their renters, right? So if a landlord needs to provide a fair notice to their renter, but they're not aware, or they don't know what to provide, then they can call us for assistance as well. So those are the type of calls that we should be getting.
What are the hours?
So the hours are 8 to 5.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday. They're going to be asked when they call, they're going to be asked to complete an intake form. That intake form will be sent to us, and we will contact them and do a little case management with them within 1 to 2 business days.
You use Spanish, 3 people, correct? You use Spanish speaker, Creole speaker.
So the hotline will be covered by 311, who will do the initial intake and forward it to our office. But that doesn't mean that when we get the call and we call them back, we'll still give them our number, direct number to reach us.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, the signing. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, you gotta sign.
Reach out the,
That doesn't work, that doesn't work.
oh, you ready?
Yes.
Everybody ready? Look alert. Okay. It's done. Yay.
Just like that.
Just like that. Amen. All right. We've
6 attorneys
vindicated
ain't
the
that bad.
Constitution.
And that bad for this one item.
It turned out well, it turned out well, it turned out well. 6 attorneys was
Is it possible to get a photo with the sign?